The Honorable Muntaka, thank you so much for joining us on Eyewitness News. It's really a situation or a dilemma between enforcing the law, because the law frowns upon the use of tricycles for the kinds of things they use them for, and keeping the people employed, because they've gotten these things and they are using them, to keep themselves busy. Where really do we draw the line?
Well, good evening to you and your listeners. That's the dilemma that we have. We have a country where every one of us admits that things are not easy, and this thing did not start today. It started years. We all watched it grown, and now it's almost, if you check, if our statistical service could do a good job, they will tell you that my estimation is that we do not have less than 60% of our transport system being managed by this group. Go to the rural areas, go to almost all the villages, go to the peri-urban centers, go to the urban centers. I mean, these are things that have grown. So yes, I admit it comes with its own challenges, but the best way to deal with the challenges is not just to move from one extreme end to the other extreme end. You should know the implication of every government policy or every policy that you take. I mean, I'm sorry to say, most of us in the political leadership, we try to take decisions that are very easy. I mean, what they call the low-hanging fruit, things that you can do and think that, when I just do this, I will solve a problem. No, you don't solve a problem like that. You don't solve one problem and create a much bigger problem than the one that you are solving. You see, when you say that because of the way they operate, you want to restrict them from the central business area of the city, what you are indirectly saying that you don't want them to work. Because, for example, if you are in the Kumasi, outer Kumasi, just check the traffic. Every morning, look at even Accra. Everybody drives to the central business center of Accra, and the evening everybody moves out. So the moment you say, don't come into the center, you are simply saying that don't just work. Because where are you pushing people from? People are being picked from the peri-urban into the urban center. So my view was that, yes, I mean, there are issues. We are all not too happy the way it operates. And it's part of the reason why in the 2020 manifesto, NDC said that we're going to legalize so that we'll make sure that it is properly regulated. Because you see, the way it is, because you have not legitimized it, it makes the implementation trying to regulate it very difficult. But be it as it may, the assemblies can pass bylaws, just as they claim they passed this one. It is not to simply say, don't just come into this part of the city. Simply put, regulation. And my suggestion was that, say, yes, you can operate, but if you're coming into the center of the city, one, you have to have a sticker that is being issued by KMA. Therefore, you may have to pay for it. You should be maybe somebody 21 years and above. You should have a rider's license. So that when you do that, you automatically take off all the, for lack of better word, the bad nuts and keep the good ones. Because remember, if it is about the business center of Kumasi, if you know Kumasi very well, Keditia, around Konfanochi, around Edum, and what have you. In fact, the biggest nuisance is even the throttle and people who have taken over the pavement. So if you are dealing with the congestion, you need to deal with it holistically. Don't just pick and make it look as if you just want to find an excuse and dump it on a particular group. Deal with it holistically by introducing congestion charges. That's how we've seen in London. We've seen in so many other big cities. They don't prevent people from coming, but they try to incentivize your going into the center, so that only those who really have something to do will have to go to the center. But if you do this, and you see, let me admit, I didn't anticipate the challenge, or I did not foresee the magnitude of the problem until I met them. I don't know whether your cameramen were there. I was shocked to my bone that this teeny youth, those who chose to even come to my office, my brother, they were well over 5,000. And do you know what that means for a country in West Africa where security is now one of our biggest threats? You want to disarm all these young guys from what they do daily and sustain themselves in a country where we are not rich enough to just give people what they call a pound card, where we just give people food stamps where they can go and pick food. We are not rich enough to give people some little money if they don't have job. You should be thinking about the bigger problem, because you cannot, like as Agla said, you cannot just solve one problem and create a much, much bigger problem. I'm just pleading with the state authority. I've called all those who matter. And look, can we review this? So that I did planning. And I can tell you, in planning and policy decision making, what you do is that you analyze the likely consequences of the policy that you are introducing. And ask yourself, the problem that you are entering this policy to deal with, will it create a much bigger problem, or you better live with the problem that you have? If you don't analyze that way, yes, you may be solving one problem, but you create a much bigger problem. I bet you, I'm in Kumasi, ask a lot of people. If you recollect very well, 10, 15 years ago, in my area, as one said, in particular from the Tech Junction, from Tech Junction all the way to Amaga Junction, then to the airport roundabout, in day broad light, you see people blocking the road and seizing people's phone, watches, anything valuable in traffic. When was the last time we saw that? These young guys have found something to do. Yes, what they are doing is creating nuisance. Can we find a way of streamlining it? If we think that the only thing we do is that, put them out of job, well, I'm sorry to say we should prepare ourselves for the next major challenge that they will confront us with.
Not putting them out of job entirely. When we spoke to the transport department director of the KMA, he says they can operate, but they should operate, outside of the CBD to a large extent. But you spoke about it 2020. You spoke about 2020 and the promise to legitimate or to legalize it, and we wanted to legalize it so we can regulate it. But part of regulation also means that you tell them where they can go or where they can operate, so that we sanitize our CBD. You don't see all these tricycles moving up and down, but there will be spaces they can operate in. That will be part of regulation as well, like the others you mentioned. I mean, making them pay some registration fees, etc.
One place that you may not be able to prevent them from going is the central business area, because almost everybody that's been lifted is coming to the center of business. I mean, go to Delhi, go to a lot of Indian big cities, go to most of the big Chinese cities. They are far advanced than us. Ask people who travel there whether they find these things there or not. You see, when you have a teeming population that do not really have formal jobs, you need to be careful. Look at the kind of people that are into those business and ask yourself, supposing you dismantle or you mess that business, what would be the alternative? Let's be careful, because there are a lot of people who are losing hope. Let's not add on to people who feel hopeless, because the more people that we have that feel helpless and hopeless, the likelihood of having a kind of uprising and all the negative things that all of us may not want is very high. So let us be very careful, because believe me, what I've seen this morning was, for me, nothing is more scary than that. Almost every major street within a particular area were blocked. Massive traffic in Kumasi this morning because of what they were doing. I had to quickly try and call their leaders. Can we meet? Now I pleaded with them, please give us time, let us engage. I'm advising the city authorities. Let's meet them halfway. I would not sit there and pretend that most of the things that they do is good. Yes, they are, but we should also remember there are a lot of good guys among them who are only fending for themselves, who are doing the best that they can to take care of their family that we do not have programs to be able to take care of. They to pay their children's fees that we do not have programs to pay for, to have housing that we do not have programs to take care of. Let us not forget that and assume that because you and I have cars that we can drive, the massive population of our country, almost, I can guarantee you, more than 50% of our people use those means to commute from one end to another. Let us not let these young guys fall hopeless. If they do, it has consequences, and all of us need to be mindful of that.
I see. So what you're calling for is an overhaul. The baseline is that it's illegal. So the first thing that must be done will be to review the law, and that will take a bit of time. And so I'm not sure what you're asking for, that we relax the law until we.
No, I mean we have what do you call it, the assemblies that can pass their bylaws. Are you getting it? And it is that bylaw that they use in saying that don't come into this area. I say review that. Put a better streamline. I mean, you have challenges when they all troop in. So put a guideline that will help deal with that problem without necessarily preventing saying they shouldn't come into this area. That's all I'm saying.
I see.
Once we try to nationally look at what we can really do, because believe me, there are more pragya on the street of Ghana than vehicles, than the kind of vehicle that you and I drive. Check, there are more. If you go almost, I mean, it's only in Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi that you don't even see much of them. In most of our peri-urban, these are the main means of transport. Let's not be running away from that. I mean, we allow it to be imported in our country. They pay all the duties. They sell them. They go and register them, and they drive them. They are already in the hands of our citizens. We can choose to be ostriches when we pretend that they don't exist, but they do in large numbers. And those who drive them are the teeming, jobless youth who do not just have jobs, because we are not able to create enough jobs to bring them on board. In my constituency, believe me, I know graduates who drive this project. They finish KNUSC, they finish Kumasi Technical University. There are no jobs. They are driving this to earn a living. You cannot just pretend that this doesn't exist, and just pretend that all the graduates are into Citi FM and all the good jobs. Many of these guys that you see that are driving, I know, I can count. If we were to do this, I know no less than 10 graduates who are driving this project because they cannot find jobs. So let's be careful what we are doing.
I see. I want to thank you so much, the Honorable, for speaking to us. Very important matters you have raised. We hope that the discussions are fruitful. But some of their tricycles were seized. Are you trying to broker that deal as well, so that tricycles are released?
Yes, even 12 of them are in remand. We are engaging to ensure that all these things are normalized, because I believe that, yes, what they did the day before yesterday with the clash with the police was wrong, and I acknowledge that, and I continue to urge our police to be professional. I will be the last to encourage anybody, for whatever reason, to vent his frustration or her frustration on a security person, because they are protecting all of us. Yes, those incidents were very unfortunate. 12 of them have been remanded. Some of their tricycles have been seized. We are in the process of looking at all that and see how we can bring peace, not only in our communities and the city, but in their homes too. So all that is on the table that we are looking at, and we hope to be able to find solution to all those problems.
Very well. Thank you so much, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak, Member of Parliament for Asawasi in the Ashanti region. He intervened